Okay, call the meeting to order at 7:06. Sandy, could you please read the roll?
Councilman Pavaldi?
Here.
Councilman Jefferuso?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Present.
Councilwoman Moran? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Also present is our attorney, Gerard Parisi. Privilege of the floor. At every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the portion of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public should restrict their comments to items of town business. Although there is no official time constraint, speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There shall be one portion of the meeting dedicated to privilege of the floor near the beginning of each meeting. All remarks and questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter in discussion with a person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during the portion of the meeting referred to as council member comments. Privilege of the floor is opened up at 7:07. Any takers? Okay. Privilege of the floor will close at 7:08. Okay. Highway, next senior is not here. Collins, we have his report here. Okay, this is from Clark Collins, our water commissioner. Gallons pumped 1,984,500, maximum daily average 102,000, minimum daily average 31,300, daily average 66,200. September was a busy month for the water department. We had a water main break on Route 7 between Pangburn Road and White's RV. This was the 8th break on this stretch of the water main. It has been decided that the section should be replaced. We have in the works to have the section replaced during the month of October. The communication system is now up and running after 90 days of being down. This was the system that was hit by lightning during that lightning storm we had years back, and months back. It took a while to replace the system. They had to order new parts. The whole system had to be replaced. We turned it into an insurance company. I think the bill was for $52,000. We don't know how much the insurance company is going to pay, but it is up to was up to $52,000 for the invoice on that. All right, we have submitted the total cost of $52,000 to our insurance company. Is not sure I just said that. We are also having our number 2 well redeveloped, the well house, in the month of November. This well is having a significant drawdown, so it's better to be proactive and have the pump replaced and the well screen cleaned to bring it back to maximum efficiency. The other well is going to be done in the early spring of 2021. Over the last year, we have spent a substantial amount of money on the water system. All repairs and upgrades were done to ensure all our residents that they would continue to receive the best possible quality of water and be able to provide residents with their water consumption needs. All of this would not be possible without Wes, Gene, and Preston. Also, your town board should be commended for their full support and guidance when it comes to the water department. Respectfully submitted, Clark Collins, Water Commissioner. It's got another page here. I'm not going to go read it. Anybody can have it if they'd like it. And it's talking about the wells being replaced, the water pumps, and the upgrade that's got to be done to the water tank. So everyone knows too that Clark has informed the town board that he's going to be cutting his hours way back. He's still going to remain a water commissioner, but he's probably not going to work but maybe one day a week. We don't know. Sometimes he may not be here at all, but he'll still be listed as a water commissioner. We'll get into who we hired at a later time right now. Okay, code enforcement. Any questions for Clark's report? If anyone wants a copy, I think everybody has it anyway, don't they, Sandy? Yeah, everybody has the second page there. Anybody out there wants it, you're more than welcome to it. Code enforcement. From Tom Barini, our building inspection, total permits 4, permits issued 4, permit inspection fees collected $842.90. Inspections 13, code zoning inspection 0, fire inspection 0, final building inspection 0, certificate of occupancy compliance 0, bank deposit report 842, check to the supervisor account 900, checkbook balance as of October 13th, $42.14, activities and zoning, working on planning and zoning as needed, working on permit, final inspection as needed, reviewing plans as needed, Tom's Marini building inspector. Any questions for Tom's report? Okay. Ben's not here yet, he's coming a little later. Okay. And from our judge, oh, you're here, Michelle, you want to read it for me?
I can if you want me to, Lou.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me a break.
Just the court submitted a check to the supervisor in the amount of $7,101. That was for the September of 2020. We're slowly getting back into the regular processes with some limitations. Summary proceedings are going to resume after October, I think it was October 15th. Still some limitations on in-person appearances, but we're still at 25%, as you can see. We only have maybe 12 to 16 people here at the court, and if they're here, they're outside until one leaves and then another comes in. Our security guy, Bill, does a great job in maintaining that social distancing, making sure everybody fills out the tracing sheets, and make sure people have masks if they don't have it. You may know Dawn, my court clerk, has taken full-time employment with her Schenectady School District job, and it's put the court at a disadvantage because we don't have anybody there now. There is the need to staff the court offices as soon as possible. I'd like to recommend the appointment of Carol McLean effective tomorrow, and actually Dawn was going to be here tomorrow as well, so she was kind of going to show her things, and Carol was going to come in for a couple hours tomorrow night for the court. Mrs. McLean did express an interest in this position, and her qualifications far exceed the requirements. I did break out the times that Dawn works, and if, you know, whoever takes over, if Carol, when she takes over, we'll adjust them accordingly. And I did have the wrong, I think I had the wrong hourly salary, which can be adjusted. But again, I'd like to recommend Carol McLean as the temporary court clerk to serve out at least till the end of the year. Thank you.
How is that metal detector working out?
Great, yeah. Bill puts it out in front of the door every court night, and he moves it away at the end of the night, and you know, we kind of rope it off so people don't actually skirt around it. Not that we really haven't had too many people. A lot of people aren't showing up. People just aren't coming to court. And
Have they ever found any weapons or anything?
I don't think so. I think Bill kind of cuts that off at the pass. If he has anything that people are questionable, puts it in a little container, or he asks them to secure it in their vehicle. But hopefully we'll have continued increase in people coming to court, because if they don't come to court, there is a bill out there that is going to possibly do away with suspensions on people's license for failing to appear and failing to pay fines. So we'll see where that goes. People just aren't showing up. And so we'll see how that goes with the governor if he signs it into law.
So did I understand that? You said this bill is going to do away with suspension?
Correct.
So the consequences of not showing up are nothing?
Well, I have a copy of the bill, and right now it was passed in the Assembly and in the Senate, but it's went back. I don't know why it went back to the Assembly at this point. They're looking to reduce fines for people who can't pay. So they're actually asking that people pay 10% of their monthly income on a partial payment basis, or ask the courts to reduce the fines, which can be done. You can reduce the fines based on reapplication for resentencing. They haven't gone through whether or not they're going to implement that for failing to appear for speeding tickets at this point. There was a little confusion. Maybe that's where the confusion is, that they have to send it back for clarification. But yeah, that's,
So no bail, no nothing, just
Yep.
basically jump ball here. All right.
so we'll see
Nice
how it
trip to
goes.
New York.
That's all.
All right, any other questions for Michelle? Doug?
No.
Cole? Ben? Okay, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome, Mr.
Buildings and grounds, I really don't have anything. Other than that the state police is paying the rent now. I guess we got this past month's check. They were way behind because of COVID, they claimed, but they're all caught up now. We still haven't received a new lease agreement with them. I don't know, apparently they don't want to talk to us about it. I don't know what else I can do about it. I've asked, set up a meeting with them. I know we can't go over there, but they don't seem to be interested in signing a new lease agreement at this time. So they claim they're not moving. In my opinion, I don't know how the board feels about it, but I'm not gonna put money into the building if we don't know that they're gonna be there, and if we don't have a lease agreement that expired in March, I don't see why we should be putting money into the building. I guess it cost us more last year than the rent we received.
Is the lease agreement that we're working on, language-wise, exactly the same as last year? Or are we gonna, we had talked about maybe putting something in there about some of the maintenance of like plowing?
I would like to, I was gonna bring that up if we could
If
ever.
we're gonna have a, it's been a long time, we should think about that.
Yeah, if we could ever sit down with them and, even if we have to do a Zoom meeting or whatever with Gerard and, but they don't seem to be interested in it. They keep telling me they're not gonna move, but they don't wanna talk about a lease agreement for the next 5 years. Why should we continue to put money into the building when it cost us money last year? We didn't even break even on it last year with what we put into it. So what's the purpose of even owning the building if that's the
Yeah, well,
case?
most, I think you said that most of their lease agreements include them actually paying for some of that, like plowing and that.
And there are other buildings that but when this was first done, that wasn't put into the lease agreement. We were responsible for everything. They should be responsible for doing that. That's a big cost to us, maintaining the plowing and the salting of that. Every time they get a little bit of snow or rain, they want it salted. And we put a lot of money into that building over the years, a lot of money. And if we don't get a new lease agreement, I don't see why we should continue to put money into the building.
We should probably get copies of that lease agreement and pass it out to the board so we can review it and take a
We can
look.
do that, Sandy, if you could get it out sometime. Gerard, I got it on my, do I have it on my phone? Didn't you send that to me?
Didn't matter, you sent it to me.
I sent it to you. I think Sandy sent it to me, and I forwarded it on to you. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just
We can give you a paper copy, or if you want to get it email.
everything can be electronic, I'm fine with that.
Are you fine with that? And you want it, and Doug will get you a hard copy of it.
I'm fine with it.
Pardon?
I can print Doug out a copy.
No, so we'll get you a copy of
He's
it.
just down the street from me.
Don't farm for it, remember that.
Okay, other than that, nothing going on with the town hall. We're gonna put off on the roof till next year now. We just don't have the funds to put another $50,000 into a roof. Hopefully we have it patched, especially when we don't know what we do know what some of our revenues are going to be. The solar company that is planning that project, I talked with them today, been in contact with them. They're still going to go forward with it. The solar company's been sold 3 times. So the new owners over here are going to come for the building permits in 2 to 3 weeks, they said. After talking with them today, that's what they said. They wanted to come to the meeting tonight. I said, you're more than welcome to come, but there's really nothing for the town board to do now. We already passed the solar law. It was given to the planning board. The planning board approved it. They extended the special use permit for another year. That's all they have to do is come to...
The terms of our contract remain in place, nothing
Yes.
changes.
And they also told me that the project's not going to be, they're going to start in November, and it's not going to go online until next fall.
Yeah, so,
Uh,
but
And
that
I said-
contract remains in place,
Yes.
our,
Everything
Financial
remains
piece
in
of that,
place, the
right?
host agreement, everything else. But they're going to start, I told them, you can be more than welcome to come and introduce yourself, but town board has already agreed to all of these things. We already set the law in motion over there. It's on our books. Planning board extended a special use permit for another year. It's only been 2.5 years, I think,
Right.
since we've,
because we actually thought we would be getting some kind of revenue this, next year, but it doesn't sound like that's gonna happen.
not until the fall, they said it won't be complete. Well, it's not gonna go online until next
So
fall.
probably,
So like the end of the year.
probably 2022 before we see any revenue.
Could be. I don't know. But they said, well, if you don't need us there, then I said, you're more than welcome to come, but there's
You know
nothing
the
more
name
to
of
say
the, you
about
know
it.
the name of the company?
CS Energy,
Pattersonville Solar,
oh, CS Energy bought it.
yes.
CS Energy?
CS Energy.
And where are they out of?
New York and New Jersey.
New Jersey. I've got all of their contact information if you want it.
Yeah, I would like to research the company a little bit.
So, like I said, they said they're gonna come for the permits in a couple of weeks. They said they just wanted to be good neighbors. I said, look, here's what I told them. The people that were opposed to it are still gonna be opposed to it. The people that really don't care, there's still gonna be the people that really don't care. So there's nothing we can do about it anyway. It's all, everything's in place to go forward. But if you wanted to come and introduce yourself, he says, well, no, that's not necessary. And I said, okay. I assume that's why you...
Yeah, I was under the impression they were gonna do some kind of presentation. I just met the guys. It's only been sold once, the contract, to CS from Tyco Solar.
Yeah, I say
It's been sold once. It's a bigger company and it looked like they really got their stuff together. I think it's gonna, and it's a very positive move, I feel.
Well, that's what he said. He says they're coming...
I got a letter of intent, letter of intent saying that I had to sign and send back saying that they were gonna start construction on November 1st. So they gotta deal with the farmers got the corn off, and it looks like things are gonna move ahead pretty fast now.
Well, they said they were coming for the building permits. I told them over there, it's all in place. They'll issue the building permit. The town engineer is involved in it. He's gonna keep track of the thing and the project. So there's nothing more for the town board to do, really. There's no more changes that have to be made, so I said, I saved them the trip up in New Jersey, or down from New Jersey.
Too bad they didn't give me a call.
Your gut feeling, you've got a good gut feeling about them, you talked to
Yeah,
them?
I've only met with them once, a couple weeks ago, but, yeah, their lawyers found problems with the original contract, as far as, the length of the lease, because it set them up for a big, apparently if the lease goes, is it 49 years? In New York State, if the lease goes past a certain amount of years, because they had an open-ended kind of thing for extending it. that they would have to pay, when they recorded it, they'd have to pay the value, or percentage of the value of the lease, or
Lease value.
something, I don't know. So, I mean, the new guys caught some things that they screwed up on originally. And other than that, the lease is all the same. So, yeah, I got a good gut feeling. I mean, no, I looked these guys up, they got a lot of projects out there, and they're local, they're not in Washington State, and, yeah, I got a good feeling.
Are they publicly traded or privately held?
It's owned by,
Don't
it's owned
know.
by that investment firm out of New York.
I'll look it up, I'll do the background check. There's a lot of investment firms in New
No,
York.
I mean, this is the,
Goldman?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They're
that's
owned by
the one who
Goldman?
owns it. Yeah,
Well, I think eventually they're gonna own the lease.
yeah, that's who the parent company of this CNS Energy.
It seems very positive to me, in my opinion. I'm a pretty good judge of things, so take that for what it's worth.
So, yeah, that's who owns it, they said.
Well, I'm just glad to hear that we're getting on, you know, I remember when they first came here, and I don't want to take up time, but I remember they came out, they were hyperventilating, they had to do this yesterday. And we had to meet them, we had met them down the diner, well, oh my God, everything had to be done. Lawyers were coming up, and it's been
You know, it's
months.
been a long, strange
It's
trip.
been months.
Are they building on your property?
Yeah, yes.
It's a 20 megawatt.
All right, well, that's good
Okay.
news, I'm glad you got a good feeling about it.
Okay.
All right, is there any other questions for me? Okay. Okay, we're gonna have the public hearing on the preliminary budget. We'll open up the public hearing at 7:29. Any takers?
Are there copies of the budget? Does anybody need a copy of the
Yeah,
budget to
good
look
night.
at?
I'm gonna take off.
Everybody content at this point? I mean, I have a copy with me, and you're welcome to look at mine
I think there's some.
if you like to need one. Yeah.
I think this sounds like there's some on
Still no town tax?
No, I thought you were like that. It's the same budget that we worked.
We actually did cut a little bit out of the budget. We've reduced the town newsletter from twice a year to once a year. The cost of printing and mailing is quite expensive. So we're gonna do it now closer to the holiday. Lou wanted it closer to the holiday season so that we could wish everyone happy holidays, et cetera, and so forth, and narrow it down to one newsletter, which is fine with me. I write it, and it's fine with me to do it just once. But we did everything we could possibly do to reduce costs, I mean, everywhere that we could. And we really did, you know, go over this budget nickels and dimes. Certain things we can't touch, everything is, you know.
I might add that this year, no one's getting a pay raise too, so because of the cost of, and we actually don't know what our revenues are gonna be. We have an idea from the county, but we actually don't know until they send the check. So, and there is no town tax, again, so there is gonna be a cost increase, the price of water to, from $152, what was the
$56 to
$156.
That second page on his water report, he explained all that.
Yes. So that's up to $275. Unfortunately, we have to do that. I know that because of the maintenance that's required on this water system. I have a copy of what we have spent on water. Bart gave it to me, did a report on this. I don't think this has been given to the town board. I don't think do you have this copy? We've spent close to $80,000 in repairs since last fall.
Do you want to just read this? I mean, he summarized it pretty good. It's like the last 3 paragraphs.
I don't think you're raising it enough.
Well, the problem is that we have a fiduciary responsibility to have enough money on hand to keep this system working and running. Over 300 people depend on this water, I'm one of them. Nobody's happy about paying more money, nobody's happy about that, but on the other hand, in relative terms, I mean, you know, $275 for 50,000 gallons of water. If you can,
60,000.
no, we're gonna do 50, right? We
Yeah.
decided we're gonna do 50.
I'll change it to 52.
We're going
It
50.
was always 52.
It was
No,
52.
we decided that if there's overage, you're gonna pay for the overage. And we're doing that as a concession to Doug. Because Doug feels that 275 is not enough. And so we're trying to give you,
We actually didn't discuss this yet, that's what Ben is saying.
Yeah.
Well, we went from 60 to 52.
It was 52. I mean, it said 60.
Yes, now we're back to 52.
Okay.
but Doug is unhappy with, you know, the current raise, so we thought as a concession kind of to Doug, we'd leave it at, but that's really something we should discuss in a work
My
session.
point is, you're getting 52,000 gallons right now for $156 a year, okay? Water. You divide that out, you're getting .003 is what you're paying for a gallon of water.
Yeah, he put that in here.
Yeah, so that's the-
Which is almost nothing, really.
Okay? You go to Dunkin' Donuts, you buy a coffee, all right? What's a cup of coffee cost at Dunkin' Donuts? What does a bottle of water, 16-ounce bottle of water, go to the beverage store? What does that cost you? You go to a bar and buy a beer, okay? It's $4 for a 12-ounce can of beer. Somebody can't afford one cup of coffee or one bottle of water a day for $1. That's the way I look at it.
And at some point, we may have to raise it to $1 a day, but, you know,
You're getting 117 gallons of water a day for .003 per gallon.
right, and you're getting it delivered to your house.
Yes,
So it's a bargain, and I think it's still a bargain even at the increased cost.
Which is 275.
Right, and we may have to raise it if this is not adequate to cover the expenses that we're running into, but,
the way the water main is breaking, the bolts are all bad, and every time you dig a hole, you're looking at $3,000 or $4,000 at minimum. I was there the other day, from 5:45, I got a phone call. Couldn't get a hold of nobody. I made phone calls and I got it straightened out by 6 o'clock. I was there at the water main break until 11 o'clock at night. And you're looking at $3,000, $4,000. And the other part is, they didn't have the part to fix it. They ended up going to web, which it could have been fixed in an hour and a half if we had the parts in stock, which we should have.
I agree with
And I
that.
said that before.
I agree with
Give
that.
it down to.
I agree with
And
that.
if you don't believe me, I'll bring the valve in that's out there laying and right outside the door out here. The bolts rotted off, okay? And alls I'm saying is, town of Rotterdam, we called them, they didn't have it. Called another place, they didn't have it. They ended up going to Latham's to Webb. And we sat there for 2.5 hours before we could get the thing to fix it.
These are all just fixes.
And this should be, we should have this stuff
Since last September.
in the building up there
I agree
where
with
the pump
that.
is.
I agree with that. I think you're.
And I'm the one that fought about getting hydrants and extra pipe, which is at Lonners now. And we got a hydrant, a spare hydrant now, hydrant breaks, we had nothing. And I'm telling you, we need these parts. There's 6-inch, there's 8-inch, there's 10-inch, there's 12-inch. You need the bands, you need a couple of each.
No, I agree with that completely.
I understand they cost money, but you should have them in stock, so you're not sitting there for 3 hours waiting for a part to put it together. And then go beg, borrow, and steal from Rotterdam or Gilliland or wherever.
They have been trying to stock up on parts though.
They have, yes, and that's because I've been pushing it. But this one here was a 10-inch, didn't have a 10-inch valve.
Everyone knows, I don't know if they know it or not, but we're gonna be replacing the water line from Pangburn Road up to past the town hall here. So they've had 13, what did he say, 13 breaks? Yeah, 13 water main breaks. Is that what we had here?
Yeah.
Well, there's been 9 on the road you're talking about.
Yes, 9, so,
But what I'm saying
Gonna have
is
to be
people don't understand. You gotta put it in layman's terms. One bottle of 16-ounce bottle of water, you're paying more than $1 for it. You can't afford $1 a day for 117 gallon of water? That's something wrong. People don't understand. Sorry, I don't get it. I got 16 cows, I fill a water tub up 3 times a day with 250 gallon in it. If I was hooked to the water system, I'd be paying out of, I couldn't afford to have it. At .003, yeah, I could do that. I'm sorry, I don't agree. 1 cup of coffee a day, everybody, you get 117 gallon of water for 1 cup of coffee a day, or 1 bottle of water. 1 beer is $4. That's 4 days.
well, we already discussed the budget. It's up for a vote tonight and that's included in it, $275. What people have got to understand too is they're also paying for the infrastructure down through here, the water bonds. And everybody that's in the water districts pay that. Some are paying up to $1,200 a year. So, and not to mention what we budgeted put in the budget, they're gonna be taxed the extra, because our revenues are not gonna be enough to cover that, so there's gonna be an increase in that on their tax bill this January for the county. It's, we get back. So that infrastructure has gotta be paid. Every district pays a different amount. The homeowner pays a different amount based on their assessed value. Some people are, like I said, paying $1,200 a year for the infrastructure.
In addition to the 275.
Yes.
So as much as, I agree with you, and water is still cheap, dirt cheap at that price. Is this on the agenda tonight for a vote?
Yes.
Did we change the numbers to 52 on that?
No, we're gonna have to discuss
We're
that.
gonna have to
if we
discuss
want
that
to change
tonight.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that way, at least, if somebody does use over 52, we get some overage. So we do get some extra.
It's staying the same as it was last year. the
Yeah.
amount.
Right.
That per unit thing is being limited, right?
Pardon?
The per unit, the apartments?
Yes, that's what we agreed to before.
Okay, so the only change is from 60 to 52.
Right.
Yes.
And people have to understand that, we don't do this.
You won't have water.
We don't have water. Our system literally could go dry. And I don't think anybody that's on this system wants to entertain that idea.
And the thing is, you can't take it out of the town budget for people that live in the other town,
You're right.
the other end of town that doesn't have the water.
The only
This
thing we,
has gotta come from the water
right.
department.
The only thing we could
Wherever
do is
it's
borrow money
water.
if we had to. If we absolutely had to, we could borrow money. The water department has a revenue stream.
But if you borrow money, how are you gonna pay for it when you haven't got enough? Why you gotta borrow? You should have it ahead, not behind, ahead.
Well, it should have been
That's what
done,
I'm
it should have
saying.
been done a long time ago, unfortunately. It was not.
actually been installed properly, then we wouldn't be dealing with all this. If it wasn't installed properly, right?
That's correct. The water lines were
No,
not put in.
no, it wasn't installed. And we're paying the price now. But the water department does provide a revenue stream. We can if we had to, worst case scenario, I don't want to. But we can borrow based on that revenue stream. I really don't want to, and I don't think we'll have to.
Where are you
but-
gonna get the money from to pay it back when you're not getting enough to?
It doesn't matter, Clark said we're good for 2 years or so before we have to worry about that, as long as we fix all these emergency issues. Right? Isn't that what he said last
Yes,
time?
he
We're not
did.
gonna
He's
have to
pretty confident,
borrow
but, you know,
anything, yeah.
our job and our responsibility is to make sure that water stays flowing, period. And, you know, we're raising the rate this year, and nobody likes to do it. And I agree with Doug, we probably could raise it more, but we've decided on that number.
Well, like I said, we're just gonna have to bite the bullet and do it over here and raise the rate. Clark said we're gonna be good for 2 years. I'll take him by his word, since he's been in this business for 30 years. He said it should be enough money for the next 2 years.
And that rate increase doesn't happen until summer. So,
All the pumping stations are up and running. He's repaired everything he could. He repaired the pump station on Darrell Road. All the pump stations are working properly now. The big expense next year is gonna be the water tank that's leaking. That's gonna be 52,000, I think.
72.
72, that's right, 72,000 to repair the
Rooter tank.
Rooter Drive tank, yes. So,
Well, 75 is the water main over here.
one
yes,
on 7.
Yes.
85,000 here for the water tanks.
the water tank is 85 now, we got the estimate.
It says the final items of these repairs refurbishing are your 2 water tanks.
Yep, 85,000.
That's for the 2 tanks.
2 tanks.
2 tanks.
Yeah, so 40.
Rooter Drive, they said would be 72,000. Because it's leaking right out of the top. Well, not the top. They can only fill it 2/3 right now.
Oh, yeah, now it's more than that. Final items that need repairs, refurbishing are the 2 water tanks. Both tanks need to be refurbished inside and new mixers at a cost of 85,000. Total cost for those repairs comes to $210,000 to do both tanks.
No, that's the water main, both wells and both tanks.
Right, that's everything.
Yeah,
This costs everything.
For everything, yeah. So the issue is there's not enough revenue coming in to cash flow that, which is why the rates have to go up.
They have to.
Or you have to borrow money and then you pay interest.
Yeah, and you're not getting the money back to pay the interest. You're not getting the money back to pay the bill.
Yeah.
It's like going out and throwing a rock out into the water. If you don't have the money coming in, where's that money coming from to pay for the bill?
Yeah, which is why the rates
That's why they're
have to go up.
All right, I might as well read this too, so people that are going to be looking at this at home. Should have done it before, I guess. I'd like to take this is from Clark Collins, our water commissioner. I'd like to take this opportunity to inform you of all the upgrades and improvements we have done to the water system and future upgrades and repairs that need to be done. We have totally rebuilt the booster pump stations on Darrell Road and Rooter Drive. We have rebuilt or replaced 4 fire hydrants and had over 13 water main breaks for customer service repairs. We have spent over $72,000 in repairs this year, and that does not include the cost of the day-to-day operation of your water system. In the next year, we need to replace the water main on Route 7, starting at the corner of Pangburn Road and continuing past White's RV. We have had 9 water main breaks on the stretch of water mains. The cost to replace this water main is $75,000. The two wells need to be pulled and redeveloped and a new pump purchased at the cost of $25,000 per well, for a total of $50,000. I understand we're gonna do the one this year and the one next year. The final items that need repairs refurbishing are the 2 water tanks. Both tanks need to be refurbished inside and new mixers at a cost of $85,000. The total cost of those repairs comes to $210,000. In the coming months, the supervisor and town board are going to have very tough decisions to make to ensure that your water system is financially stable. These repairs will guarantee that going forward, the town residents will have quality and quantity of water that they have come to expect and need for their water system. Currently, the residents are paying $156.20 per year for the first 52,000 gallons of water. If you break that down, residents are paying 0.003 cents per gallon of water they can use before paying any additional fee. Apparently, 98% of residents stay within the usage, paying 0.003 cents per gallon. If you put it in perspective, it is inexpensive for good quality water. Private water companies charge 25 cents per gallon. Supermarkets charge up to $1.99 per gallon. In addition, most residents pay $150 to $180 per month for cable, TV, and internet, which equals $1,800 to $2,160 per year. To continue to charge 0.003 cents per gallon or $156.20 per year is not substantial enough to continue to operate your water system currently, and definitely not into the future. Unfortunately, as I stated before, your town supervisor and town board are going to have some tough and hard decisions to make in the very near future. I'm bringing this information to you so that everyone knows what has been done and what still needs to be addressed. If you wish to continue to provide the residents with the quality and quantity of water that they have come to expect, respectfully, Clark Collins Water Commissioner. And we got a copy of that. Could I have that back? And we'll give anybody that wants a copy of it, what we had in water repairs last 12 months. More than welcome to have it. That's all I have to do is ask our town clerk for a copy of all of this, and we'd be more than happy to give it to anybody that wants a copy of it. Sandy would be more than happy to do that. I'm sure she would. If you foil for it and ask for it. Okay. Is there any questions on the rest of the preliminary budget? So we'll close the, any other things you'd like to add? Ben, Jim, Nicole, Doug? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing at 7:50. And now there are dog wardens here. Do you have a report for us?
Just have an announcement. It's the rabies vaccination clinic. It's going to be held here at the Princetown Plaza at our town hall, Saturday, November 7th, 2020. Cats and ferrets and dogs between 10 and 12 noon. So usually the way it works out is cats and ferrets between 10 and 11, and 11 to noon are dogs. It's going to be, it's not going to be like it was last year, which was people were filing in the building. It's going to be a drive-through, and it's going to come up around the gazebo, and we're going to work it out so people can get in and out without too much incident.
Is there a rain date when it happens?
I don't see a rain date listed. I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, it's not going to be fun if it is raining, but people are going to be in their cars.
So they're not going to have access to the town hall? Then?
They're not coming in the town hall. No, they're going to come up and around, as we discussed. Tell me if I'm wrong at all, Sandy, but we're going to come up around the gazebo and file in the cars through the parking lot, and then come around here because the parking lot's going to be empty. So there should be enough room for the cars to file around and then go in through the process of getting the animals vaccinated, and then they can just drive right out. It's
So
just
we're
like a
gonna have
big,
to get those gates open.
the
right?
gates definitely have to be open.
Yeah.
We can't squeeze three, there's no way, that would be chaos.
No, and so we'll, how are we gonna do that? Are we gonna,
We'll just open up the gate.
okay.
Yeah, we have to open up both sides. I don't know how that goes, but if we can get somebody to do that.
Yeah, it's just, you pull the latch on it, and they open right up, it's self-explanatory.
Okay,
There's a
just,
couple rods in there, you just pull them up, and the whole thing swings out.
okay. If I'm gonna be the one here, I gotta make sure that because the last time we did that, I couldn't get the other side up. I can only get one side open, and it was,
I already spoke to Nick Senior about it. and I
Okay.
have a reminder.
so he's gonna, okay. Yeah, just to make sure that that opens both gates, otherwise it's gonna be like,
So
Yeah,
the
well, we
dogs
gotta
are,
have both gates open for that.
the dogs are from 11 to 12?
No,
yeah,
I don't think there's any differentiation.
then no, it doesn't matter then. I guess that's part of why we're doing it this
You
way.
do have to pre-register though, there's no just walk-in.
Okay.
You're supposed to pre-register.
All right, what I posted on the dog control site was this flyer, so they can scan it into pre-register, and if they have any questions or any further info they need, they can go to the website. So-
Re-register me,
Well, they can, yeah, so,
Rabies vaccine?
my dog.
so that's it, I mean, at least we got it going for, we missed out on the, we have them twice a year? Or am I,
Here?
yeah.
No, just one.
Okay, so it worked out for us. Probably have a good turnout because it's a pretty good place to have it. There's plenty of space and room, so.
Do cats need it?
Cats not, with rabies, I'm not sure if they are by law, I'm not sure. I know dogs do. Cats tend to have like,
Cat might have it.
if,
Pretty sure.
yeah. Cats are, no rules for cats, they can do what they want. They can-
Anything else, Brent?
No, that's it, it's been quiet, there hasn't been any dogs running loose or no adventures from Junior, so he's been good. I stopped over there to see how it's going, they said it's been working out, they're keeping the battery charged up to make sure that he doesn't go on the run, so. Everything's good, everything's quiet, nobody's complaining. Good month in Princetown.
Any questions for Ben? Okay. All right, meeting minutes. It is hereby resolved the meeting minutes of September 8, 2020, regular town board meeting are approved or as amended. Discussion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Second.
Councilman Valoni?
Yes.
Councilman Delarusso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. As Michelle stated over here, that our court clerk has resigned. She's working for the city full-time now. We wish her all of the best. And Michelle has asked that Carol McLean could be come on as the court clerk on a temporary basis effective tomorrow, 2020, term to end 12/31 at the rate of $17.14 per hour. I checked with the associations of towns. They said that they didn't have any problem with it. I think I forwarded you the emails on it. That they said, our attorney said that there wasn't a problem with it. Am I correct, Rick?
So those, the three attachments that you,
Okay.
the three attachments that you included said that like, the judge can't be the planning board.
That's right.
But the court clerk can, because there was nothing that said that you
Yes.
couldn't, so.
Yes, that's exactly what it said. She couldn't find anything that would say, as we've done with Nicole, she's a secretary on the planning board. She said that there's no case law that says that. The only thing is the judge can't be the planning board chair.
Right.
So you can never be the planning board chair.
Thank you.
But, so if there's not a problem with that,
I'll make the motion.
Carol wants to try it, see if it works out. If it does, maybe we'll during the organizational meeting. We'll end up reappointing her if she likes to continue on. She didn't say that she wanted to, I don't know if she is or not, but,
Think she'll continue?
We'll see, once she gets in there.
Yeah.
I think the courtroom program is a pretty user-friendly program, so.
you got a list of her hours that Michelle has suggested that she work.
We probably will tweak those a little bit. But I know Dawn wasn't here, and I don't know how the town board feels, but we really do need somebody here on a Thursday, the day after court, even if it's for a couple hours. And I don't know if I don't think Carol will have a problem. She can always lock the door behind her, and nobody would be able to come in if she feels.
Oh, yeah, we don't want anybody working alone.
Right, well, that's a problem, then. She will be here alone.
Well, no, if she's alone and the doors are locked,
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah, okay, because
But
that's what I
leaving the
said.
doors open, if you're doing an appointment or something like that, where she can let them in, we just don't want people wandering in and
Yeah,
out.
oh, no,
There's one person here.
no, I don't think that
That's a
they'll,
standing rule we have with the,
yep. Even if it's for just a couple hours to do the court things from the night before and make sure all the reports get done and sent out, then maybe two hours at the most.
in this day and age, we just
Yeah, I
don't want
know.
anybody
Yeah.
working alone.
Yep, and oh, by the way, while I have, our cameras aren't working in the office there. For some reason, our TV screen is off.
How come, and when did that happen?
I don't know, did Dawn say anything to you, Sandy, about it?
No.
Because I don't know why it's
I'll get a
off.
hold of the Center for Security over here. Tomorrow I'll call, have
Bless you.
them come and,
Yeah,
take care of it. That's in your office.
it's in Dawn's office, it's in the court clerk's office. Yep, the front office, right next to the slider.
Yeah, I'll call them tomorrow morning and
Okay.
have them come over.
Okay.
You don't mind if they go into the office when you're not here?
No, it's in that front part, so there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay. All right, I'll call them tomorrow and see if they can get up here. They probably won't get here tomorrow,
Yeah,
so it probably won't be until next week.
that's fine. I mean,
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll
Is there any questions, discussion? Doug? Nicole? Ben? Jim?
No,
Is
no.
there a motion?
No, I like the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Bowling?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilman Moore? Yes. Councilman McBride?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Okay, referral to planning board. This is for the noise ordinance. It's hereby resolved pursuant to Article 10, Section 10.4B, a proposed amendment to the zoning law to implement a noise ordinance is hereby referred to the planning board for a report and recommendation. Said proposed noise ordinance is available upon request and shall be delivered to the planning board chair. Discussion? Ben?
You want me to send this to the planning board?
You can send a copy of it. Sandy, you got a copy of it? Yeah. we can
Okay,
send it.
I have one that's cleaned up a little bit.
You want me to do it?
Well, Gerard looked at it?
Yeah, but I did some crossing out and all that, those were still in that copy. So I'll send you one that doesn't have any of those edits.
Okay.
Is that the one that Gerard looked over and you
Yeah.
agreed with it?
I think we, the first Thursday or last Thursday?
Pardon?
We meet next Thursday, I think, I mean, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
You're good with it, Gerard?
So I contacted the Schenectady County Sheriffs, and I spoke to them today. It's something they can enforce, because we don't have, local police, and code enforcement doesn't work enough hours to enforce something like this, so they can take care of it. I also emailed it to them, and he's gonna send over any recommendations that he might have. So give me a few days, because he said he'll get back to me pretty soon,
Okay.
and I'll email you like a final.
Yeah.
Okay?
That sounds good, and then I'll just forward that to Carol. And then, yeah, next Thursday's the meeting.
That's a Zoom meeting, right?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, we can still talk
Can the
about it.
public get in on the Zoom meeting?
You can get in on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You can get on it. Zoom meeting over there, if we did a Zoom meeting over there, the public would have could get in on it. You know, kind of hard for everybody trying to get in and speak, but,
Yeah,
we can
that's
do
right.
that.
So give me a few days.
Yeah.
He said he'll get back to me soon. He was really prompt today. So,
Maybe you should be on it, or you're the one who proposed it, maybe if they had any questions.
yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay, so you send me the link, I'll join this new meeting.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
Thursday, what, till 7?
Yes, but
Ben, is there anything in the proposal for dogs?
Yes.
Okay,
We,
Okay.
so I don't know if he's gonna recommend any changes, but I put it as like continuous barking for more than an hour.
okay,
I think that's kind of a common practice in a lot of towns. So yeah, it'll be something that, you know, it would probably go to you first, and then if it got escalated past that, and assuming this passes, yeah,
Okay.
then they can step in, is my
How
understanding.
about
all right, good.
crowing? How about roosters crowing?
There's nothing in there.
Better go to that meeting.
That's expected when you move into a community like this, barking for 4 hours straight now, so.
pretty loose.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Rotterdam is like 15 minutes, but it's a lot more populated, so an hour is probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, is there any other questions on the noise ordinance?
I can send you a copy too if you want, or I have one here if you want.
Yeah, I'll take one, just so I have it.
Yeah, that still had a couple of edits in it. I'll send you
Okay,
after I do the show.
is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Bowley?
Yes.
Councilman Rodrigo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Okay. Approval of the Princetown budget. Okay, whereas the 2021 preliminary budget of the town of Princetown was filed with the town clerk on September 15, 2020, and whereas the town board of the town of Princetown duly held a public hearing on the 2021 preliminary budget, including the general fund, water fund, highway fund, Potterkill, Pattersonville, Pine Grove, and Duanesburg Fire District, along with the 2021 water and sewer assessment rules approved by the town board and filed with the town clerk, and heard all persons desiring to be heard at the and on the matter, and whereas the town board adopted the 2021 preliminary budget at the town board meeting on September 8, 2020, now therefore be it resolved that the 2021 preliminary budget as presented is hereby adopted and established as the 2021 final adopted budget for the town of Princetown for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2021, and be it further resolved that the 2021 final adopted budget shall be spread upon the minutes of this town board meeting in its entirety, and the town clerk shall prepare and certify as provided by law duplicate copies of the said 2021 final adopted budget hereby adopted, and deliver one of such copies to the supervisor in the town and one copy to the county legislature of the county of Schenectady as required by law. Is there discussion?
I have just a slight discussion. Since we are passing this tonight, I think that we probably, you actually, because you're the supervisor, should probably give a call to the Gazette, because they've been doing these stories on towns passing their budgets, and we don't have a town tax. I think we should blow our horn a bit.
Okay.
You know, I mean, why not?
Okay. Sounds good.
Other than that, I have no other thing. I'll make a motion.
And just, this resolution is saying you're passing the same numbers as the preliminary budget. I heard you talking earlier about a change. If you're changing anything. from
No,
this
the only thing we changed on the water budget, which isn't in there, I don't think, is it? Water budget?
Yeah, water budget is in there, but,
We changed the gallons from 50,
Gallons.
from 60 to 52.
But if you're, are you changing anything in this column? Because if you are, you've got to add it to the resolution.
what, as far as monies?
This resolution says you're passing this budget. If you're changing any of these budgetary
No, we're not changing any of the numbers.
You're not, okay.
We're just changing the amount of gallons that are gonna be used in the water budget.
As long as you're not
Go
changing.
ahead, Sandy?
But wait, didn't Isla say today we don't have the sewer figures from?
Yeah, she said we
Bloomberg?
never get them for Waynesburg. They never give us our sewer projections. until they do their budget, and then they send it to ours, and it's always too late. That included in here.
Well, you have a budgeted number for it.
Yes, we have a budgeted number for
I'm
it.
just saying, if you're changing any of these numbers, you've got to.
No,
No numbers are changing,
no,
the
the
only,
numbers are changing.
You know about when we went from 2 to 1 newspapers, those numbers were dropped.
those were changed, right?
What's that?
When we reduced the newsletter budget line.
Yes, they're in
Yeah, it's
there.
all in there, it reflects it there.
What we changed.
Preliminary budget?
Yeah.
That way?
Yeah,
Because we had our budget meeting.
right.
We adjusted a few things, like we eliminated the solar income.
Yes.
Whatever that budget is you passed at the last meeting, if you're making any changes to that, you've got to add it to the resolution. I don't know when you had your meetings, but whatever was passed at the last town board meeting is the numbers you're approving tonight.
Right, we didn't change
Yeah,
it.
we didn't change any numbers.
Okay.
The gallon is,
Everything that we did at the last meeting was there when I was there.
Okay.
we always gave 52,000 gallons. We had talked about bringing it up to 60 because we're raising the rate. But then, Doug was right, it's cheap enough, why should we do that? So we decided to keep it
You
at
ended
52.
up .0045
Right, so
by
we're gonna,
raising the gallons.
so
So
we're
you're
gonna,
not gaining, no.
We had a budget meeting the 14th of September, which was after the September meeting.
but there's no money
Numbers
change.
change.
There wasn't any money.
No dollar changes.
We didn't change any of the dollars, we said 275.
No, the meeting on the 14th, the 8th, we talked about the water, right? Or was that the 14th? I might be getting them mixed
The
up.
last meeting we had was,
We had a budget meeting on the 14th of September.
and then we had another budget meeting with Iowa. We met
Yeah,
with
wasn't
Clark,
it
and then we met with
Couple days
Iowa.
later.
Yeah, that was the 14th, I thought.
Yeah, and the date on my cover sheet is the 15th, so I think we changed everything that you went over
So
with
we're good.
Isla, and I printed it on the 15th.
That's the one when we met with Iowa.
Yeah, on the 14th, we went with that. Yeah,
So any changes that were made, we did then.
right, which was after our last board meeting. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Well, those are the new numbers then, that we just went over.
Well, the meeting with Iowa, we never changed any,
We did, we took out the solar income, we switched from 2 newspapers to 1 newsletter. We did those changes on the 14th. I thought.
We only had one, we only had one, newsletter last year. One. We didn't do the one in the fall,
Oh, we made a couple of little changes.
or we didn't do the one in the spring. That's the one we didn't do.
right, we're not going to.
No.
So that reflects the new budget, reflects one newsletter.
If that's the way it was
I
on
think this is the
September 8th.
right one though, because this one has the preliminary budget for over host agreement, there's nothing. So I think this is from the last budget meeting.
Right, because Sandy updated it on the
Yeah.
15th, right?
Yeah.
So what, we really didn't change anything.
There was a couple little, nothing substantial, yeah.
This one, this preliminary budget doesn't have the solar host agreement.
I just, yeah.
Well, no, we don't, because we don't know when the solar's gonna go online. So we took that out.
Right.
We don't know when the solar's going
When
online.
did you take that?
We never put it in last year.
No, but I don't know, I thought this one was the one that talked about 14.
It's a simple question. Did you change anything after September 8th?
Yes,
Then you've got to add it to this resolution.
because that's when we took out the solar.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's when we switched the newspaper.
We never had the solar in the year before.
Forget the year before. September 8th, you passed the budget. If you changed anything after that September 8th.
We never
budget-
put it in the preliminary budget, the solar. We never put that in there.
I have it at home, I have my notes at home, I should have brought it with me.
We never put that into the budget, we never even discussed that. Because we didn't know when it was gonna go online, if they were even gonna build it, until these last couple of weeks. We didn't even include it in the year before's budget.
We had it on the tentative budget
That we were gonna include the solar?
in September. Yeah, I have it right here. This is the tentative budget.
I think what you're talking about that.
So we took that out
And
then?
then we took it out for the preliminary budget. We took it out.
Well, if it's not in there now. Oh, so you're saying because we took it out after the last town board meeting?
He's saying it has to be added to resolution that we that.
If you made a change after September 8th, it's got to be added to the resolution.
Oh,
I don't know if you made any changes after September 8th.
Sandy said we did, we took that out of there. I didn't even think we put it in there.
Well, it's listed as being on the tentative, in the tentative column. But the preliminary column, we took it out, so it's not there.
Well, then, that
On the
was on
tentative.
September, our last town board meeting, so we didn't change it.
No, it looks the same, actually.
okay.
You may be right.
Well, she just said it.
You were talking about 30,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we never planned on that. We never had that.
Well, we had it in the tentative budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we took it out because
Right.
everything was going
Well, it just was a
down.
matter of which we discussed it.
Right.
But maybe.
But it was out in the preliminary budget, so it doesn't matter. Nothing has changed.
I wasn't there, so I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
No, nothing has changed. The only thing that was changed was the amount of water. The 60,000.
The gallons,
The
which
gallons.
don't affect
We didn't
any
change the
dollars.
rate.
There's no dollar change.
The rate is the same as it was in the preliminary budget.
I see. Oh. Okay. So, you got the budget in front of you?
Well, I have what this document
You
says.
see, you got the page 2,
Yeah,
that's what page 2 at the bottom.
yeah.
You see central print, newsletter supplies went from 21 to 15.
Yeah.
Like that, I think, has to be in the
Well,
resolution.
this says preliminary is 1,500. If it's still plans to be 1,500, then you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's what we
If you're not
figured.
changing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
preliminary.
that's what we did.
Because there's 500 in mailing, 500 for printing, and I don't know, I get paid something, it's not.
So it doesn't matter if the tentative and the preliminary are different.
No, because you passed the preliminary budget, and now you're saying you're passing the preliminary as the final, without changes.
Okay. Right.
If that's-
So we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Jim?
No, other than, I definitely think we should reach out to the Gazette and then do a story like they did on so many others.
Okay. And Doug?
I got none.
Nicole?
Okay.
And then is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sandy?
Councilman Balloli?
Yes.
Councilman Jeff Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. General funds claim is hereby resolved, the town board approves claim number 174 through 194 in the amount of $20,648.38. Discussion?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Balloli?
Yes.
Councilman Jeff Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Water funds claims are hereby resolved that the town board approves claim number 124 through 141 in the amount of $12,369.05. Discussion?
I'll make the
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Balloli?
Yes.
Councilman Jeff Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
motion. Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Let's see. Trust and agency fund claim is hereby resolved, town board approves claim number 5 through number 6 in the amount of $602.50. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jeff Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Council member comments, discussion. Doug? Nicole?
Okay.
Ben? Jim?
No, I think, I'm very happy that we're addressing the water issue and hopefully,
Oh.
we did, we'll,
Oh, that's what we got to do.
we got a point here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Right. That's right.
Mr., we have to appoint our new addition to the water department.
What's his position?
He's gonna just be a water operator. He has a Class B2 license, is what he's which we're gonna need since Clark is looking to resign his position in the near future and stay on as 1 day a week, maybe. This new fellow worked for the town of Rotterdam. He has his license, which is what we have to have required for water main breaks or whatever, because like I said, Clark is gonna be leaving. And if Wesley gets his license, he still has to have someone that has a license to work with him for 1 year, Doug? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it takes a year. He's gotta have somebody. They said when it first started that, you know, being he's doing it now and he's got people under him, he might get away with not having to have a full year, but they said it was a year.
So, he's retired from the town of Rotterdam. He's 60 years old, he's looking for something part-time. He has his resume here. Worked for the town of Rotterdam, I don't know, what do you say, 25 years?
No, I think 12, 15.
15 years. Clark trained him
And recommended it.
and recommended him. Clark has already informed us at the end of the month, he is going to step down maybe 1 day a week, just to come in and check on things, make sure things are still going right. Clark is still going to be the water commissioner until such time as Wesley gets his license, or if Wesley doesn't want to get his license, then I don't know if this guy's going to want to be the water commissioner or not. But we're still going to have somebody with a Class B license over here to maintain the water system. There's no question about that. So, are we in agreement that we want to hire this guy?
Yep.
Fireman, $25 an hour.
Rotter? Work?
Mark or something?
My glasses on here. R-O-R-I-C-K, Rick. Work. Lives in Pattersonville. He's 60 years old, 5 months. And he said he would work part-time. He doesn't want to work a lot of hours. Told us maybe 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. He can only earn so much money since he's retired. So, like I said, we need somebody with a Class B license since Clark is going to step down eventually, and someone has to be with a Class B license for water repairs or whatever. Clark is not available. Any discussion on it?
I think we interviewed him, he answered all of our questions, I think we've agreed on his salary, the fact that he has his license is important. He may wind up taking over as commissioner if Clark decides to actually fully retire. So it's important we have that in place. So I think we don't have any choice, I think we have to make this appointment.
Like I say, I don't know if this guy's going to stay on. You know, he's up in age too.
60's just a pup. I'm 70, you're 70. We're still banging around.
73. I mean, November. No,
We got a
Mark.
senior man here. Back.
No, so, like I said, Wesley's talking about getting his license, but he still has to be on under a year, you said, right? Jeff?
That's what they said.
So,
They said, being that he's doing it now, that they might short. Right? Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, right.
So,
This is providential that we have this guy. I mean, it just happened, he retired, we need him, he's willing to part. There's a lot of little things that just worked out perfect. So I think we're crazy not to,
Seem flexible with the
Yeah.
schedule too.
we should just make this appointment and be thankful that we can do it.
the question is, we put him on, is he on a probationary? I didn't even think of that,
Well,
period.
it's a right to work state, so we have some authority.
Should we put in there for a probationary period? Is that necessary, or?
I don't know if you're gonna do a term to the end of the year like you did with Carol, and just reappoint at the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
that's a
Well,
good
that's
point.
what you said, you were gonna appoint him to the first of the year.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll
So it's
explain
only
to him
3
that
months.
that's how it works. We renew the appointment each year.
Okay.
I don't think we
So we're
explained
gonna
that.
hire him as a,
Licensed operator.
he's a licensed operator, and he's going to work with the current commissioner.
It's important that we put that license in there because that's why
The
we're getting the
licensed
extra
operator is
money.
gonna work with our current commissioner and our water staff until, starting next month, starting Monday, continuing till December 31st.
And we should touch base with him and explain to him that we renew these contracts yearly.
Well, we reappoint everybody here.
Right, and I don't think we said that to him, but
Yeah, everybody has to be reappointed in the organizational meeting, which is in January. So,
do we need a motion to that effect?
Sandy's writing it up right now.
I didn't catch what the rate of pay is.
$25.
Not to exceed what?
We didn't
We didn't
discuss that.
discuss how many hours. He said he only wanted to work a few hours, maximum 4.
He can't work more than 30,000, I can't make more than 30.
Do more than 24 hours a week. That would put him, if he worked a whole year, that would go over his pension limitation.
I don't think he's gonna work that much.
So how much do they work now?
They work, their schedules vary because they come in, if there's nothing to do, they go home. They may stay only an hour or 2. A lot of times Clark comes in and he leaves after an hour, am I correct, Sandy? He comes in and just leaves. Wesley may go out and check the system over, and if there's nothing to do, comes back and checks out. So it varies from day to day. You know, if there's nothing going on, they don't put any time in.
No, but if you got a water main break, you gotta be there.
They got
So how
to
do you know?
You don't know.
No, something where, you know, it's prorated.
What do you
The
suggest?
other day, it was from 5:45 to, they were there until after midnight. I left at 11:30 and they were still backfilling the holes, so.
Like however any of the other ones are, I mean, I guess maybe it's the same as what.
Well, like I said, they come in, you know, vary, or hours vary, whatever they put in. Could be 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, it could be 5 hours, it all depends what's going on. I know Clark leaves, if there's nothing going on, he doesn't stay.
Yeah.
He just takes off, and Wesley handles everything.
When system got hit by lightning on that Sunday, he was there every day turning the pumps on up on Ruder Drive. And
Yeah, he had to turn
it
all the
was
pumps
like
on.
4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, then he had to go back, shut them all off, check all the readings.
Now it's
They were working
automatic.
6 hours, 7 hours a day.
The hours are gonna be fluid,
You don't
there's no
know.
possible way we can, you know, we can't put a number out. It's gonna be a fluid situation. He can't work more than 30,000, I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Also, I don't want to 30,000 in this couple. I don't
No,
know. I didn't know if there needed to be something in place for that.
Clark manages this pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, he's-
Yeah.
yeah. We don't manage the hours Clark does.
Clark does this pretty good.
Okay.
Wesley does it good. They're not actually,
But you gotta go back and forth. I see Wesley go up Ruder Drive 10 times a day.
and sometimes when they have to do their,
When they
Pumps
were
were
doing
up.
that pump.
now the pumps are all automatic. The system is up and running.
And all they gotta do is check it.
That's all I gotta do is check the system now on a daily basis.
Well, the system is updated.
Yes, it's up and running, pumps come on automatically.
It's not
as they're
fully
needed.
oiled. I don't think they've got everything under control yet, from what I heard the other day.
No, they said they were up and running. I don't know, I didn't talk to them, so.
He was to my house the other day and he said they still got bugs that are working out with, towers that, antennas and stuff. They're still figuring that out. That's what Wes told me the other day. He was at my house.
You have a motion written?
Sort of.
Go ahead, Sandy.
It is hereby resolved that the town board appoints the licensed water operator Rick Rorick at $25 per hour to work with the current water commissioner and water staff, term to end 12/31/20. Yes?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Anything else? Meeting took longer than what I thought.
I'll make the motion.
To adjourn? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, and next meeting over here, what, a little bit too warm in here. What should we set the temperature at? 62?
What is it now?